Welcome to Ear Biscuits, the podcast where two lifelong friends talk about life for a long time. I'm Rhett.
And I'm Link. This week at the round table of dim lighting, we finally get answers from a licensed, official technician who weighs in on your problem, Rhett, that has been established here on this show.
You know, we don't have we have all kinds of people listening to this podcast, Link. We have, we just have people living their lives, but we got people who have studied and gotten degrees and licenses, and
we bring their opinions out of the woodwork.
And you know what? We want those. We want these informed opinions because we're the king of uninformed opinions.
Yeah. How would they give us those opinions?
1-888-EARPOD1. Boy, the calls keep coming in.
We love hearing your voice. A lot of Southern accents.
I love that. I love that.
I think we might get to an Australian accent today too, though.
The ultimate Southern accent.
Ho! Red, I set you up for it and you knocked it out of the park. So,
like Robert Redford in The Natural.
You denied my invitation yesterday to hang out with me and our friend Dan while I was spinning some records, and boy, you missed it. But don't worry, I'm gonna tell you about it.
How does that work when you're the DJ and there's one person there?
Well, I've started doing this
Does he sit?
thing where I'm practicing more. I'm trying to get more hours. Because
10,000 hours.
I've started to have these, actually DJing on vinyl is so much fun, but I told Christy, I think it's gonna make me a better lover.
Oh.
Because you really have to have
because of the nipples.
Delicate touch.
Yeah.
You know, you see these DJs just going at it, like they're like, this hand's going back and forth and that hand's going back and forth in a different way, and then they switch and all this stuff is happening. But what I never realized was the delicacy of what they're doing. Like, their motions look aggressive, but they're tender. And you know me, I'm an aggressive
You're an aggressive petter.
Handler.
You're a heavy petter, as they say.
I'm a heavy petter of dogs. And I've learned that I just can't translate that over into my vinyl handling because it's a little needle, man.
This is really good for you.
And I'm just really developing my passion for
this
it.
Might get you know what? I never put this together. This might be why you've never cooked. But this actually might get you into cooking because cooking requires a delicate touch.
It is a form of cooking. Like, I aspire to have people come over. It didn't happen yesterday with Dan. Just somebody yell out, "Let him cook!" But yeah,
I'm not gonna do
DJing
that for you.
is as close as, you don't have to, as I'm gonna get to cooking. But yeah, it is a version of cooking. Thank you.
Think about multiple pans, multiple circular things in front of you, and you got multiple things going.
Different techniques.
You don't know what's happening in your brain right now. Like, you could be opening up and creating new pathways that could be applied to all kinds of things, not just lovemaking.
That's definitely happening. I think that's why Christy's encouraging it. Even though it means I'm going over to the creative house and like having my own on time. Now, I enjoy spinning just by myself, just having my Link time. But there's something about having people there that you're actually having to, give them something that they enjoy. Over this past weekend, I think that I spun records for 12 hours, 11 hours.
In one day?
No, in two like 5 or 6 hour sessions. Because like yesterday I got over there at 5 and then I left at 10:30, left at 11.
You're saying past your bedtime.
Yeah, I'm hooked, man. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll invite somebody over. Hey, I'm practicing spinning my records. You want to come over and hang out? And then what I'll do is I'll try to play stuff that they like our friend Dan, he doesn't like hip hop. So I'm limited only in my records. So like I'm limited to more of, he likes classic rock, he likes yacht rock, so I've got some of that.
Right.
And so I'm doing some of that. I'm also just practicing technique. And I'm not like staying behind there the whole time, just like going from song to song. I'll play sections of records and we'll hang out and we'll talk and then but then I gotta get back to it because you gotta flip the records or go to the next one and that type of thing. So I have a lot of fun doing it, and there's the challenge of trying to meet somebody's needs, but like, I know I got them even if it's just two of us there and we're like standing up singing a song together. That actually happened at one point.
It's quite a service that you're providing.
Well, he's really into music too. Like he sent me a few playlists. So like you get somebody you gotta be a little bit more into music. It's not like I'm gonna show up and sit on the couch and it's gonna be awkward. It's like these are not like just random acquaintances. Though don't put it past me.
Now, is there?
I'll start pulling people off the street before too long.
Is there a version of this? I'm just asking. This is for personal reasons. Is there a version of this that is an equal experience for you as an individual where you have on headphones?
Oh, no. Yeah, I still like to play it in the room because it's more of an actual practice of how you do it.
Well, we're gonna have to run interference because weekends is when I do my recording for James and the Shaman. I'm back on that now.
Right. Yeah. I can just go to headphones.
You can do that.
Yes.
What I'm saying is we can both be doing our thing at the same time. It's not a logistical impossibility.
Yeah.
Okay.
Technically.
But if you invite somebody,
you might have to yell. If I invite somebody, that would be
a pair of headphones.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
So I'm not going to invite somebody.
So I'll let you know it.
If you're recording something, I do need you to let me know. Mm-hmm. And in a way, I let you know yesterday, but I invited you.
Yeah.
I could have just let you know and not have invited you, but that would have been weird.
Yeah.
So was I inviting you or letting you know and then felt like I needed to invite you?
Well, the issue with me, if I didn't say yes because I had other things going on, but the thing is that because I'm also devoting time to something outside of my family life and outside of my work life that then is me leaving for the weekend to go to a different house, so there's a sensitivity to that, right?
Yeah.
I can't go and not do my work.
Yeah.
I can't go and sit and watch you. But just because then
again, it's not watching.
I can't. No, because then I'm not
watching.
Well, no, what I'm saying,
it's listening to music together.
You know what I'm saying? I can't justify that because I've got a certain amount of time.
Yeah, you can be in the other room.
I can't tell Jesse I'm going to the creative house and I'm not working on music. I'm listening to Link work on his music.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I just don't have that kind of.
And I'm not going to go in there and listen to you record.
And I'm not going to expect you to.
Yeah, I didn't expect you to, but we can both be in the same house and our creative energies can spur each other on to new heights. One of the things that Daniel told me about, I wanted to tell you about. He told me about this party that he went to, and I'm always interested in what, I know you are too, what makes a good party. We like to go to them. You'll throw parties at your house. I like to throw, my version of parties as well. And ultimately, there was a question that came up. I'll call it like a icebreaker conversational question, which I thought was interesting, and I want to present that question to you. But before I do, I'll tell you a little bit about the party. He showed up, and he said it happens every year, so he knew to expect more structure to this party than a typical one. And so he said, you show up and they have a gate. I was like, oh, this is a fancy house. He's like, well, not a fancy house, but they have a fancy gate.
Okay.
I'm like, okay.
That's the first part of a fancy house.
Normal house, fancy gate. Intercom type thing. And beside the intercom, there was a QR code and instructions that the scavenger hunt begins now. And so over the course of the night, if you choose to participate in the scavenger hunt, there's clues hidden around the house, and there's different things in like you're accumulating. There's an immersive scavenger hunt experience.
Okay, I like this.
And I was like, well, did you do it? He was like, I elected not to do it this year. I did it last year. And everyone doesn't do it, and you can attend the party as normal, or you can have this little assignment, a little something to do, which, as it turns out, is cool because it motivates you to move around the party and have an objective.
I like this.
You know, some people who, they might need some tracks to run on at a party, so it's not just like, who am I gonna have an awkward, cold conversation with, meaning just out of the blue, figuring out something to talk about. You know, that stresses some people out.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I did like that idea. Sounds cool, right?
Oh yeah, I love these, like adding the structure
and
motivation
and then moments,
mission to a party is something I'm very interested in, but still have not pulled a trigger on it.
And phases of a party is a good thing too. Now another thing they had was a room with a tarot card reader.
Okay.
So you could go in there and you could consult with the tarot person.
It is LA.
It's LA.
Gotta have a little bit of that.
And I was like, well, did you do that? He was like, oh yeah, I did that. And I was like, do you subscribe to these things? Because I'm very skeptical about it, but I asked a spiritually minded friend of mine that I trust recently what she thought of it. And she was like, well, you know, because we did the psychic thing on Mythical Society. We got a psychic reading, and there was even some medium stuff happening. If you're interested in seeing our first ever psychic experience, by the way, it's on the Mythical Society. And we actually did it was probably a 45-minute conversation just between the two of us. It was like a mini podcast where we unfiltered talked about exactly what we thought about the experience. You know, having watched it back and had some results from it. Anyway, all that stuff's over there. But our friend, the spiritual-minded person, described psychics as someone presenting a mirror to yourself. And he said that resonated with him. But mostly Dan was interested in getting his reading because he was intrigued by talking to a complete stranger and then never seeing them again. I'm like, well, that's an interesting, I was like, well, I'm not gonna ask you what you're talking about. But I did like that aspect of the party. And he said while he was getting his like 10-minute reading, which he had fun with, he said he spent most of the time talking to the tarot card reader. What do you call him? A psychic? The person. And
a taroter.
They're a sound, they work in audio in the industry by day, and then they do tarot card readings to make a little scratch, apparently. People kept coming in the door and like poking their head in the middle of his reading and looking at a shelf behind him and saying, oh, there's the blackbirds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 blackbirds.
You can't put.
And then they would write it down.
One of the scavenger hunt things in the tarot room.
And then they would leave. Actually, I think that's good because.
Well, yeah, it does bring people into the room.
Brings people into the room, well, and then the tarot card reading doesn't get too serious.
Here's the thing, ironically, because this is actually I think that the tarot reading is a little bit of is analogous in some way to having a structure to the party. Let me explain.
Yeah.
And this is actually what I believe about tarot reading, which is I do not believe that I'm highly skeptical that there is anything legitimate going on in terms of like true metaphysical insights, right? I'm a skeptic.
Yeah, me too.
But
I like to have fun.
And I also do not think that there's anything nefarious or demonic going on, which of course is what I would have believed at one point. But I do think that, like you said, it is this thing where you have to take some of your thoughts and some of the aspects of your life and take it out and put it on a table and have it interact with some kind of system, which helps you then analyze how you're actually thinking and feeling about specific events that are happening in your life. It's a way of processing something. In the least, it's a way of processing things.
Okay.
I think that adds some structure to the personal processing of whatever it is going on in your life. And so I think that there can be benefit, right?
Okay.
In the same way that a psychic can say things to you, does that resonate with you? Do you get that? Whatever, and you're kind of like,
the mirror.
They're playing this fishing game to find things that resonate with you, but it's actually like having a conversation with somebody who is drawing things out of you. But that's what the party is in some way. Having this scavenger hunt is it creates a framework to enjoy the party in a way. If you just go to the party and you just talk to people, might not happen.
Yeah.
A framework.
Yeah, and different ways for people to engage in partydom, acknowledging different tendencies.
Right.
I mean, Jenna, when you go to a party, what is your what are you afraid of, and what are you hoping for? And if there's a tarot card reader, how do you feel about it?
Love the tarot card reading. I don't know if I agree with what you all say. I actually have a tarot deck, and I do tarot occasionally because
you agree with our skepticism?
Enjoy. Yeah, well, I agree with the skepticism, but I also agree with that it helps you think about things in a different way, and also forces you to think about things you might not have necessarily begun thinking of. So I think there is a nice unlocking that happens, which is why I enjoy it.
But it might not be the type of thing you want to do in a party,
I've
depending
been to
on what it
parties where
unlocks.
They had it. I like when it's at parties in like a separate room. Like, it's not the focal point. There's never a focal point that is happening at a party.
Gather around for the tarot reading.
If there's a whole, that is one thing that would terrify me. If there's a whole gather around.
Terrify you?
Yeah, well, at a party, something I wouldn't like at a party. Terrify me.
Yes, you got it.
I got it. Sorry. Yeah, terrify. Mm-hmm. I know, you were looking at me really hard, like, please get it, Jenna. Please get it. I get it. But it would terrify me if someone was like, everyone gather around, we're all going to do this thing together. And I'm like, I would rather like me and two other people be in the kitchen chatting about something else. Yeah. Like, I like parties that have a different vibe, unless going into it that it's going to be an everyone gather around thing.
Well, try to put your psychic reading for the first time ever on the internet. I mean, it is behind a paywall. But, but going into a party, you're not socially anxious, right? At a party?
Yeah, a little bit.
So maybe a scavenger hunt.
I am highly adaptable. I have a great.
Yeah, you're adaptable then. Okay, I didn't even know.
I don't. Parties are scary and anxious, but you find something you like and you focus on that, and then you have a good time.
Yeah. So another thing that happened that some people could find and like is an intriguing question. And he said he found himself in this pocket of people, and they were all answering the question, say you're dead.
I'm dead.
And buried.
And buried.
And in order to beckon you back to the land of the living, someone in the waking world has 3 items. These 3 items are what will bring you back. What would those 3 items be? And then people started talking about the things that would beckon them back to the world of the living, or maybe be the first thing that they would have when experiencing life for the first time, for the second time, I should say. I thought it was a pretty good question. I mean, he said, I'm curious what your answer would be. And I am curious what your answer would be, but I'll give you time to think about it by telling you what my answer was.
Okay.
I said, he asked the question, and in less time than I've already given you, I made up my mind that I was going to give the quickest answer possible because that would be funny. So I said, because he expected me to like mull over it. Dan's a thoughtful guy. He takes his time and he puts it together. Mm-hmm. So I thought I'd surprise him with like a slap shot reactionary delivery. And so I immediately said, crispy bacon, a used condom, and the bunny that I used to have as a stuffed animal when I was a kid.
Okay. Let's discuss B for a moment.
Oh, we can discuss all of them.
I don't need to know why crispy bacon would bring you back, and I don't need to understand why your bunny would bring you back, because I feel like those are implicit. I feel like I understand. Mm-hmm. A used condom, who used it?
I didn't specify. Doesn't matter. Because it accomplishes many things, this answer, enough that I'm willing to give up crispy bacon and only choose 2. Yeah. See, the first thing I did was I made a shocking joke that was unexpected and a bit gross. It got a reaction. It didn't get a laugh out of you, but I mean, I'm just gonna tell you, a used condom was a joke. Okay? That was a joke. And then I'm like, but you know what? I'm actually going to choose that because it may be the best joke I've ever made. And now I need motivation. My mission in life is now to come back from the dead and top my best joke of my entire life. Yeah. And I said, you know what? It's not a broken condom. It's used, but it's not broken. So I can reuse it. And if my wife is still alive, then I don't know how much time I have. I'm gonna make love to my wife with this condom.
How?
And then because
to people listening, do not reuse a used condom.
Please don't.
It's not gonna work.
Well, it's not broken.
It's still not recommended.
I know it's not recommended, but I don't know how much time I have, and it's the only condom I have, and I have to use it because I don't know if my vasectomy regenerated when I was brought back from the dead. Oh. The last thing I want to do is impregnate my wife, and then 10 minutes later I'm dead again. It's like wouldn't that be horrible? My husband came back from the dead, gave me another child, and then died. It's like, I mean, I guess that could be beautiful, but it could also be quite a burden for, a single mom, She could do it. My mom certainly did an amazing job, but I wouldn't want to do that to her, so I would use the condom because it's all I had. Mm-hmm. And that's the second thing.
Okay, so let's just play this out a little bit. And I'm not really the specific scenario that you just outlined. I think we all understand, or equally don't understand. So if you were at a party,
I have a mission in life.
If you were at a party,
I now have to top my greatest joke, and if I live long enough to do it.
You were at a party and this question was asked, and you answered it in that way. You would do this in front of people you didn't know and expect.
I don't know. I wasn't saying what I would have said in his shoes. I was saying what he asked me right then.
This was your answer in the context of a one-on-one DJ and friend session.
Yeah.
This is not necessarily your answer in the context of the party that he was at.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what I would have said at the party. Okay. I'm not at the party, and as you know, I will make those decisions on the fly.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, I think that informs my answer because my real answer is, I wouldn't answer this in mixed company. I'll answer it on the internet and with you. But obviously, I feel like I can find 3 things. I feel like I can find 3 things on my wife's body that would bring me back from the dead. But I just
make that one thing.
My wife's body is one of them. Okay.
Yeah, but you're making it sound like she's dead too.
No, she is in full control of her body.
I love that you're reducing her to just her body. Boy, that's a good look for you.
She is attached to her body.
Why can't you just say her?
And by the way,
personality.
When I said my wife's body, I was thinking about the 3 things, and one of them was her brain, was her mind. Okay?
Yeah,
that's there.
Yes, yeah, it was.
So I would probably say my wife.
It's kind of the same as my used condom.
Yes, it's very similar to your answer. Well,
you got 2 more.
Definitely, I got to pick a food.
Yeah, he said a lot of people were picking food, and food was the first thing they picked, which is the safe thing to discuss at a party.
I have a lot of foods that tie for first.
Yeah, this would be tough for you. And crispy bacon is not like my jam. I don't know. It was again. I gave a spur of the moment answer.
Some foods, not beans. Okay, I'm to be honest with you, it wouldn't be beans.
Crispy bacon.
So some food that I need time to think about. And then something that implies an opportunity to do something.
Oh, like a ticket?
Like a ticket to something.
A ticket to ride.
But I just feel like I'm not, like, I do like to have the, like, okay, if
round-trip ticket, first-class round-trip ticket to anywhere you want to go in the world.
Like, honestly, if I was asked that question at a party, and my mission at the party was to, like, literally reveal something about myself to figure out if I was going to make a connection with somebody.
Yeah.
If that question was asked, I'd be like, excuse me, I need to run to the bathroom.
You get
and I would time. Go and I would think about it.
Well, other people are talking, and instead of listening to them,
that's what I don't like about that, though, because you're not thinking about what they're saying. You're thinking about what you're about to say.
So you wanted another QR code so that the people who could have time to
I would want, hey, if you're coming to this party, there's an email that goes out before. Here, have an answer to this question.
That puts a lot of, then people aren't going to show up at the party.
Yeah, that's true.
You want to spring things on people at the party, but give them time. So there's a way to do that, but yeah, so you need some more thought. You need some more time. I mean, you could take one of my three. I thought
it won't be the
a childhood memento. You know, my mom still has the bunny. I thought it was nice to represent like something from before my first memories. Something that's like lodged deep within me would be part of it. So what would that be for you if you chose to make that one of your answers?
I still have my childhood teddy bear. First birthday teddy bear.
Is that your choice?
No. Okay. I'm just saying that I already have that, and I don't think it's gonna bring me back. You know what I think it would be? You seen those TikTok ads where those people spraying that stuff in their nose and all of a sudden they're able to breathe?
Yeah.
I mean, I get those all the time. I think maybe just doing that to me while I'm dead will bring me back.
Okay. Yeah, smelling salt type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested in that. What's the point of that product?
Well, just two different things. One is literally a smelling salt that like wakes you up.
Just to open you up.
The other one is a nasal, I think they kind of accomplish a similar thing, but the one that you spray into your nose or like you put on your nose and smell, that's the smelling salts. You can't do that with that. You'll go blind or something.
Okay.
It's so strong.
I'd like to have some of those available in meetings though.
I actually got those for my friend who has really bad allergies all the time. And so it helps like open up her nasal passages a little bit. Yeah, like obviously not like 100%, but it helped her breathe a lot better. And then I tried it and it does wake you up a little bit.
It's like
I'd like that.
Like a shot of
It's just, it's like, you know, the like Vicks that you can smell. It's menthol. Like that. It's like that, but they have like lavender, they have like eucalyptus, they have different ones. But it's pretty good.
We're getting into a new year. I'm not gonna use the big R word, resolutions, but you might be thinking about learning a new language because you're traveling this year or, you know, career advancement. You know, language might be a path to that.
You can put that on your resume.
Yeah, or just cultural appreciation.
And I do think that, you know, if we are gonna talk about resolutions, I do think that committing to learning a language could be a really good one.
Yeah, good for your brain, good for your life. Expand your horizons. In comes Rosetta Stone, the most trusted language learning program, available on desktop or as an app. It truly immerses you in the language that you want to learn.
They've used trusted experts for 30 years with millions of users and 25 languages offered, some of which include Spanish, Italian, German, Korean, Chinese, Japanese, Dutch, and Arabic.
Rosetta Stone immerses you in many ways. They have no English translation, so you really learn to speak, listen, and think in that language.
Plus, it's designed for long-term retention and even has a built-in true accent feature that gives you feedback on your pronunciation so you sound good when you speak.
It's truly an amazing value. The lifetime membership has all 25 languages for any language needs you might have for 50% off. A steal!
Start the new year off with a resolution you can reach. Today you can take advantage of this Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 50% off. Visit rosettastone.com/ear.
That's 50% off, unlimited access to 25 language courses for the rest of your life. Life. Redeem your 50% off at rosettastone.com/ear today.
Let's get to a question in a second, but Link, congratulations. You have now recorded 100 episodes of dispatches from Myrtle Beach.
Yep. Of course, if you don't know, this is my dad's podcast. He lives in North Myrtle Beach, and he gives me a dispatch every week. If you haven't watched or listened to the show, it's on YouTube. It's wherever you get your podcast. Check it out. I mean, yeah, my dad was, he's elated to celebrate 100 episodes.
Triple digits.
I never thought it would have happened. But it did, didn't it, Dad? That would be correct. He even texts his catchphrases to me now. Like, there's no going back with this guy. Like, that would be correct. I'm pretty sure is something he invented for the podcast.
Show? For the podcast. You didn't remember him saying that.
I never remember him saying it before the podcast. And then if I'm texting him, he's like, did you have a good time on your trip? He's like, that would be correct. He's like, he is. I mean,
I love that.
So yeah, check it out. Let's hear a voicemail.
Hey, Rhett Link. This is Addie from Indiana, and I have a question about how to navigate my mother-in-law. I have been with my significant other for 5 years now. We're getting married in January of 2025, and she happens to think that I love sea turtles. And so every gift I get from her for the last 5 years has been sea turtles, and every time she asks, I tell her how much I love it and how great it is. But the issue is that I don't have a thing for sea turtles, and I don't know how I can go about breaking that to her now that I have let it go on for 5 years and am entering a marriage where hopefully it doesn't go on forever. Thanks. Love you guys. Bye.
You left out a really important part of this, which is how did she come to think that you were into sea turtles? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Like, how does someone draw that conclusion?
I mean, what was it? Did you just have a calendar with ocean life and it happened to be the month of sea turtles? I mean.
And it feels like the kind of thing that would have been discussed with the
husband.
The husband.
With the son, her son, because it's the mother-in-law, right?
Right, yeah, and like.
Maybe she fell asleep. Like, sometimes if you're having a family gathering, I'll take a nap, and then like if I talk in my sleep while I'm napping.
Sea turtles.
Maybe she was talking about sea turtles.
Okay, but that being said, she now is under this impression, so whether it's your fault or not.
And allow me to lecture you a little bit before we give you the answer. We're going to help you, okay? But first, you need to learn your lesson. You have an instinct to lie to make other people feel better, is what it seems like, And what you should have said, you had an opportunity, if you didn't like the sea turtle, if you were puzzled by it, you could have said something. But your instinct was to bury it. And now you're under a pile of sea turtles. Even if it was the second sea turtle, maybe the third. By that point, I think you got to be like, another sea turtle? You keep giving me sea turtles. Like, I really appreciate it, but when did I give you the impression? I like it, but I don't love I don't really have a connection to sea turtles. I just think it's I'm just curious, Oh,
so that's the honest route.
I'm saying that's what you should have done, and now that it's too late.
It's too late. 5 years is too late.
Yeah, we are never going to, you're not going to go the honest route now. You're going to have to live in a sea of turtles.
I think
start to like them. They're not bad. They're actually pretty dope creatures. Have you seen Finding Nemo? Have you been? I've been scuba diving with them. They're super chill.
They're wonderful. I saw one sleeping in a ship one time while scuba diving at night.
Yeah, I saw footage of an orca eating one.
Oh, that's cool.
Made me a little sad.
I actually agree with this. I think that, I remember when I was a kid, and I had a number of opportunities to eat honey mustard.
Yep, here we go.
And I just didn't like it. I don't know why. You know me, I'm not picky, but I just did not like honey mustard. I thought it was unnecessary. But anytime you got nuggets or chicken tenders or whatever, it was the side. And then sometimes it would be on sandwiches. And I specifically remember, this should tell you a lot about my personality. I specifically remember as like a 12-year-old saying to myself, I keep running into this honey mustard.
What?
I'm going to make myself like it. And now I really like honey mustard.
What was the process like?
Just being like, every time I run into it, I'm gonna become curious. I mean, I'm not saying I could articulate it this way at 12, but essentially I became curious about it. And I was like, it's honey and it's mustard. You like both of those things, put it together. Everyone else seems to think this is a good idea. Just see what happens. And I just slowly just kept eating it. And then it was just, when it was there, I was like, oh, honey mustard, there you are again. Not a problem anymore. And that's honey mustard. I think sea turtles is even easier to do with sea turtles because what's not to like about sea turtles unless you're being actively attacked by one?
Right.
And this is the thing that will happen.
You like the sea and you like turtles?
This is the thing that will happen. You get two things that will happen. Number one, you can now appreciate everything that you will be given the sea turtle theme moving forward, but you have a whole, I'm guessing, just a collection of sea turtle related gifts that now have value to you. Suddenly these things that you've been given over the past five years have value to you. You can go and sit with them. You can caress them. I don't know what kind of things they are. Is it a keychain? I don't know.
Yep. I'm picturing
you can enjoy them.
Curio cabinet.
And I think this is a good practice. And I'm not saying like things so that you conform to people's expectations. I'm just saying if there's something that you're going to be encountering a lot of, you can choose to just keep hating it.
Yep.
Or you can alleviate the suffering.
You've made your bed, you have to lie in it. And if there's plushy sea turtles, it shouldn't be that bad. You know, Rhett grew up in a world where people liked honey mustard.
Yeah.
So he had to lie in that bed.
I accept honey mustard related gifts now too.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten any.
Oh, you know what I'm gonna give you? I'm gonna give you some of those Snyder's pretzel bites.
Oh,
the honey mustard
is
ones.
the favorite flavor.
Yes.
I couldn't say that when I was 11.
I bought some yesterday for my little DJ party that you were invited to. You could have had some.
Oh, wow, that sounds like a
There's still some over there.
high-calorie experience.
We didn't eat them all. Play another one. Boy, solving problems left and right.
Hi, Rhett Link. I have to get a colonoscopy on my 22nd birthday.
Oh.
Do you guys have any tricks or tips for making my birthday more exciting than just a colonoscopy? Thanks in advance. My name is Peyton.
Peyton, if you get one at 22, I hope everything's copacetic.
Right.
That's early to get one, but I'm sure you'll be fine.
They could be quite enjoyable.
Yeah, you get the drug. I don't know what drug it was, but I got it.
Propofol?
And
that's what it was. I don't know if I
enjoyed
it. That. They don't always give that.
You know what? I mean, if they offered it to me on every birthday, I'd take it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, and the meal after a colonoscopy, if you've been on a liquid diet, and you probably have been since the night before or the whole day before, that meal after colonoscopy is fabulous because you're coming off of some propofol high and you're eating like your favorite thing. Have that lined up. It's your birthday.
Yeah.
Go hard.
I think this really creates an opportunity for you, and take this how you will, and I'm just not going to really think about it. I'm just going to say it. You're never going to forget this birthday, and you can choose to describe it to people however you want to. And you could be like, yeah, I remember my 22nd birthday when I did drugs and tried anal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good setup. That's a different type of icebreaker. That's like, never have I ever.
Mm-hmm.
That put that in your back pocket for never have I ever.
You know, it's like
that's it. But we've answered that question.
Hold on, but this actually, I have to tell you something now because I wanted to call you and tell you.
Oh, well, okay. I'm listening.
You'll see what the connection is. So we were at a party recently, and I started a conversation.
So many parties.
I started a conversation with a guy who, interestingly, he was there by himself, and he's a big guy. He's about my height, and he was like, I came to this party by myself. My wife is at home with our daughter who's sick, and you know, I don't really know how to do this kind of thing, but I saw another big guy, so I came up to you. and I was like, I totally get it. And we ended up having a great conversation. So as we're getting to know each other, it's America and it's LA, so you inevitably end up talking about what you do. Mm-hmm. And
it's America.
I mean, truly, like it's a very American thing to talk about what you do. That doesn't happen in Europe.
Huh.
And so I was like, well, I hate answering this question and I never know how to answer it, So I'm like, I make YouTube videos. And he was like, tell me, well, what is it, like, what's it called? Or was it, well, the thing that's probably the most well known is a show called Good Mythical Morning. And he's like, I know Good Mythical Morning. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he got this look in his eyes, like this, he knows Good Mythical Morning, but not in the way that I was anticipating. He said, Dr. Hyman.
What?
He said, so this is to fill you all in. Dr. Hyman performed me and Link's brosectomy, where we got our vasectomies at the same time, a lot of years ago now, probably 7 years ago.
On camera. And then he came on the show over a year later when we had an episode, Do You Remember People from the Show?
And you did not
And I
remember.
just looked him right in the face and did not remember who he was.
But
shout out to the Propofil.
But listen to what Dr. Hyman does.
Whatever he gave me.
He didn't give, he gave you a Valium. He didn't give me anything except local anesthesia. But, so.
Yeah, what does he?
He said that what he does, this guy had never heard of us.
Yeah.
Never watched any of our videos.
Yeah.
But he said, Dr. Hyman, in an effort to like calm you down, is like, watch this YouTube video of me doing this. One of the orientation steps now is watching the video of him doing us on Good Mythical Morning.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Because I remember when we went in, he showed us a video.
He doesn't show, I don't think he shows that at the office, but he's like, here, an additional resources, if you want to see me actually performing it, I did it on camera for the show Good Mythical Morning. Yeah. And he was like, I watched it. It's like, of course, you're the guy.
Yes, I love that. We should syndicate this to all vasectomizers.
And of course, colonoscopy made me think about that because we did the same thing with the brolonoscopy. But
I wonder
Dr.
if he
Hyman
shows people that.
He's doing great work, man. He's still like, that was our intention. Our intention was, hey, we needed to get vasectomies. Might as well turn it into an
no
entertainment.
Regrets.
But
highly recommend.
The fact that it was, because there's so many misconceptions. I told him, I was like, the number of people who still think we got castrated is mind-boggling to me. Like the number of people who think that in order to not get our wives pregnant, we got our nuts cut off. It's
that's what they do to dogs.
I know, but I don't know.
Bulls.
It makes me so sad for people's brains.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It makes me sad for bulls because they could just do to bulls what they did to us, and then the bulls could still have their nuts hanging. And dogs, by the way. Dogs could keep their nuts.
That's a good point, but I think that it's I think it's a much more complicated surgery.
Now, I'm gonna be honest. I'm glad that Jasper doesn't have his nuts because he's a lap dog and he likes to flay around, and I just don't want the satchel tapping me.
Yeah.
So it's a selfish reason, but he's my dog, and I'm just being honest.
And it's a sign that you know that this dog is neutered, right? Because it doesn't have balls.
Yeah. Yep.
You're like, oh, okay, job's done.
And if you catch me bending over naked, you don't know what to conclude.
Right.
And there's other puzzling things too. Should I get into it?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to get into it.
Okay. I just thought that was so amazing that was the connection.
That is great. That makes me so happy. I kind of want to go back.
To Dr. Hyman?
Yeah. It makes me want to go back just to see my own video.
You got anything else that needs work?
No.
Okay.
Next.
Hi, my name is Carolyn, and I am from Missouri. I was just calling to talk about the last episode where Rhett was called out for not being able to pronounce words. And I just want to say I am a speech therapist. And I think Rhett sounds fine. I wrote down a few things of, why his sounds are okay. One, there's something called dialect, and you guys have a Southern dialect. So that's going to impact, his speech. Vocalic L's and R's, those kind of make your L's and R's a little more relaxed. So words like golf and wolf, your L's not going to be a full L. Also, having a small mouth, if anything, would benefit your speech because your tongue can get where it needs to go if it's smaller. And lastly, if everyone knows what you're saying, we don't need to be so nitpicky about pronouncing the L so clearly and all that. I think the most important thing is we understand it, and that's what communication is. So keep on doing what you're doing, Rhett. I think you sound great, and I'm a big fan of your biscuits. Thanks. Bye.
Wow. You know what I just realized? That the therapist part of speech therapy is what just happened to you.
Yeah, I feel like a new man.
Like she didn't help you with speech. She helped you with your point of view of yourself. Like, did your self-esteem just go up?
It did.
Okay, let me try to balance that.
Okay.
You still sound stupid occasionally.
Well, I will say, I thought when she said small mouth is also part of your problem.
Yeah, I thought she was going there.
They should make it easier. I was like, hold on, no.
Because
my tongue can get where it needs to be. Yeah, it can.
Quicker. Unless your tongue's too big for your mouth.
I don't think it is.
You got a little tongue too. Yep. Little mouth, little tongue.
Average tongue. Oh no, but I feel good because, yeah, if you can understand me, when I say wolf, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. When I'm going to play golf, you know what I'm going to go play. You think there's a new game that's been invented called golf that you don't know about, or do you think I'm going to play golf? You know what I'm trying to do, right?
Are you willing to say that to people who laugh at you and point? And
if somebody says, you say wolf in a funny way, I'll be like, yeah, but what did I say? And they'll say a wolf, and I'll be like, that's right. So what's the problem?
Yeah.
And you know what? Where I got this information from a speech therapist. It really made me feel special.
Wow.
So I'm never going to think about it again. I'm just going to keep saying words the way that they come to me. Wolf pack.
We can hide behind our dialect in your small mouth.
Hi, Rhett Link. My name's Caroline, and I'm a mythical beast from Australia. I've just listened to your podcast about Flounder stacking handshakes, and I wanted to say that I've been I guess you'd call it, recipient of a few of those as a school teacher when you're like a team of teachers, myself and my teacher aide and whatnot, saying thank you to parents and shaking hands. I've had quite a few parents who will take my hand and maybe a teacher aide's hand and sometimes three hands and put them between their two hands and do like a shake and say, thank you all so much for making a difference. And so when I've been clasped in between two hands of like a happy dad that's glad that I've taught their child something with my teaching partners, I felt like I was a bit of a flounder being stacked, I guess you'd call it. Mm-hmm. I find it quite warm and a nice way to group and thank all of us. So I think what Rhett's done is, group them together and say thank you or goodbye as a group in a nice warm embrace. So I approve and am pro the stacking.
Pro stacking.
A warm hand embrace. It's happening independently around the globe.
Well, I've been waiting for, what was his name? Tommy,
yeah. Tommy Richmond.
Because he's a man of influence.
Yeah.
He's got more influence than we do.
Come on, Tommy, pick it up.
So I just feel like the fact that he was, I was going to say the victim, but maybe the recipient of this, his real world experience, he would just talk about it.
He was the stacked flounder. Maybe write a song about it.
Can he write a song about it called Flounder Stacking? And maybe drop my name and your name because,
$1 million flounder stacking.
And if Tommy Richmond could bring this into pop culture, that's really what I think that's how it will cross over and get.
And it needs to, and that's why we played this voicemail, because in this new year of our Lord, 2025, we need to stack the flounders. We don't need to forget. This doesn't need to be a thing of the past that happened to you that was amazing, that was your top moment of last year. And I witnessed it. And as amazing as it was, things tend to fade.
And you know what?
And this cannot fade.
I had the opportunity. I just realized this.
What?
I had the opportunity to do it. We had some, we have people from different places who will show up and, have business meetings with us here at Mythical Entertainment.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of executive type people I was meeting all at once. And there's two women approached at the same time, and both of their hands came out at the same time, and I didn't even think about the flounder. And I should have just grabbed both of their hands and taken them.
Just raked them together. It's just corral it up. It's like the cowboy corral, Get your cattle. So you could cattle corral it. You can flounder stack it.
I gotta think about this. The next time I see two hands extended to me, I gotta grab both of them. Now, going with the other hand on top to make sure that they don't escape. This is the Australian technique.
Yeah, down under. You got to go down under with it, with the second hand.
You bring the other hand in so that because they don't let them get away.
If there's two hands extended to you, don't miss the opportunity. We have to make this happen, and we can't depend on Tommy Richmond to do it for us.
Yeah, but if you will, please write a song, or at least mention it in another song.
Yeah.
Hi, y'all. I'm Lucy, but knowing your history with names in these voicemails, I'm happy with whatever new name you give me.
Okay.
I'm from Arkansas, and I was hoping y'all could give me some advice. My husband, Zach, and I have been married for 7 years, and for a lot of that time, we've been trying to do something which we haven't really told our families about. Well, we recently got lucky, and were able to adopt an adorable little girl. Lucy is 5 years old, and she is the light of our lives. As I said, we never told our families about all this, so we were looking for some advice on how to tell them. We live about an hour away from most of them, so we see them every now and then, and we also have a huge family reunion in a little over 3 months. For context, there weren't any fertility issues. Adoption was just the way Zach and I wanted to grow our family. Also, our families are a little more traditional and old-fashioned in their thinking, which you might be familiar with, and that's kind of some of our hesitation in how to tell them. Got any advice? Thanks, and much love. Bye.
Lucy. I remember your name.
Well, congratulations, Lucy. The light of your life.
I love those long eyes.
That is so cute. And I assume the baby's cute. I mean, it's a 5-year-old. I assume the 5-year-old's cute because it's just such a cute story. Oh, my goodness.
Agreed.
So it's good that you didn't send a picture because, I'm picturing the cutest 5-year-old ever. And that may not be the case.
Okay.
Why am I still talking? What do you think?
Well,
I do have an idea, but I'll let you go first.
Well, I think that now you're going to have to make sure that your daughter is okay with this, and I think that 5-year-olds would be into this kind of idea.
Mm-hmm.
I basically think you got to go to the family reunion, and I just think you got to just act like you've always had this little girl. Gaslight the hell out of these people. Make them think that they've all gone crazy.
This is Tammy. You don't remember Tammy for the past 4 years?
Yeah, and then the little girl would
go along.
We'll have, we gotta prepare her. We gotta take pictures of people. We gotta show her pictures of people. We gotta invent a little backstory for each person, and then, I mean, if you're expecting some judgment, then I think you just go in. This is the aggressive move, going in with gaslighting.
Now, I'm not going to ask the obvious question, which is, what is the impact on an adopted child when you come up with an elaborate ruse to cover up the fact that they're adopted?
I mean, we're not child psychologists.
We're not child psychologists. We don't know, but it's probably fine.
Yeah.
It's probably totally fine. My idea is the exact opposite.
Okay.
All right.
Options. You have options.
You got to get someone to show up at the family reunion early that knows no one there. You have an operative.
Oh, great distraction.
And they bring your daughter, and when they bring your daughter to if it's at a park or some sort of usually family reunions are in kind of like a public place. But if it's a private place, like you be in the neighbor, be like in the fringe, like in the bushes. And then when it's kicking into high gear, when everybody's got their food and they're like yucking it up, then just drop that 5-year-old, just send the 5-year-old into the thing with a note. Now, I'm not going to write the note for you, but I'm talking about Moses in the basket type situation here.
I'm a little girl in need of parents.
Yep.
Something like that?
Yep. I'm a little girl in need of parents. And at 5-year-old, they can talk, they can represent themselves, so they got to get their story straight from this, friend of yours.
Okay.
And then you are the hero.
So it looks like a live adoption.
A live adoption, just right there in front of everybody. Just like
this is a better plan than mine.
Just like a child has wandered up, and everyone is falling in love with this child, and everything stopped. No one is even eating anymore. They're just getting to know this wonderful child that needs to be adopted immediately.
But it's not a raffle. I thought you might say it was going to be a raffle, and you could rig it.
The daughter is selling raffle tickets, and then
for herself.
Yeah, but then
she's conducting her own raffle.
Yeah,
she's a 5-year-old. She walks in. She was like, "I'm doing a raffle. Whoever wins gets to take me home."
Yep. I have no parents. I only have a bunch of raffle tickets.
I am a little girl in need of parents.
And then everybody started buying tickets, and then you notice who's buying the most tickets because they're most aligned, or your competition.
But she's been instructed. She reaches into the hat, and she knows the number that she's going to say.
It's rigged. The raffle is rigged, and everyone's so happy, and the whole family feels like they're a part of it.
Yeah.
That's it, dude.
Now, what if somebody tries to call the police, though? Because if I was at a family reunion and a 5-year-old girl walked up and was like, I need parents and I'm conducting a raffle to find them, I'd probably call the police. So we have to be like...
We got to pay the police off with the money that she's collected.
I think we need... You can't let people call 911. You have to have... You're going to have to hire... You're going to have to hire a fake cop that is like security for the family reunion.
Yeah, already there.
Just get one of the stripper cops because they're the cheapest.
Yeah, yeah.
And
then the stripper cop can also be the one to like hang out with your daughter before she enters the party. So it's
the cop brings the little girl in.
Yeah, the stripper cop. Well, no, the stripper cop is watching the daughter until the daughter is sent in. And no one knows that they know each other.
Okay.
And then the stripper cop shows up at just the right time when they're about to call the cops. It's like, no, I'm already here.
I'm local. I'm a local authority, and this kind of thing happens here in this county.
You know what? Let me get my notepad out.
Is this a raffle? Is this a child raffle?
I think it's in my. Let me take my pants off to see if I can find my notepad.
You have to wait. If things go sideways and this doesn't go over well, the stripper cop is instructed to begin stripping.
Yep.
To create.
Everyone will forget
the distraction.
Everything about the adoption.
You're gonna go up to the KFC bucket.
Right.
He's gonna empty the chicken out, and he's just gonna put it on himself and walk around with it. Just a bucket.
This is quite a family reunion. I mean, not only have we solved all your problems, but we made one hell of a party.
Yeah.
Because we are party people today.
Yeah.
Pretty good, huh?
Sound advice.
Pretty good. We got there.
Hi, Rhett and Link. I'm Emily. I have a very serious question for both of you. If your wives were a worm or worms, they could be together or separate worms in their own habitats, but anyway, would you still love them if they were worms? And it's not a yes or no question. It's more of like, how would you love them? To what degree would you love them? And how would you take care of them? Also, how would you include them into your lives as worms? And yes, it's permanent. Love you guys. Bye.
How would I love my worm wife? I'll tell you right now. Less and less over time.
Well, we decided to answer.
One does not grow closer to a worm.
I just to give a little context. We get asked this. I mean, this question like went viral at some point.
Yeah, like at different points it comes back up.
Yeah, would you still love me if I was a worm?
Oh.
And so we just decided to finally answer it. Okay.
All right, good.
So Link, you're saying
I didn't know we were being inundated with it.
You're saying that less and less over time.
I would love her less and less over time because That's just the nature of worm relationships, I believe. So she was who she's been up until this point to me. Like she's been a full human, and then she just became a worm. Yeah. So like we have the history.
But this is why I reject the premise of the question. Because you don't have the history if she becomes a worm. She doesn't have the history anymore. She's a worm brain. And so she can only experience things that worms can experience. And so I'm not going to give myself to my worf.
Hey, I know what you're saying.
My worm wife, otherwise known as a worf. In the same way that I gave myself, in all capacities, to my human wife because she can't experience anything that a worm can experience.
So she doesn't act like the little inchworm on Sesame Street? That guy has a lot of personality.
If she's a conscious worm, then we've got a different story. But let me just go with the first option, which is she just becomes an actual worm.
Okay.
At that point, I'm sorry. I know it was my wife. Now it's a worm.
Is she going fishing?
Exactly. I want her to go out in style, and I want her to serve a purpose, you know?
For you.
And so I'm going to catch a big-ass bass with her and eat that bass, you know?
Okay, it would be
or
really...
I'll mount the bass and be like, let me tell you about, tell me about that big bass. Going back a few years, my wife turned into a worm, and I didn't want to continue the relationship, so I fished with her.
I'm with you. I'm almost with you completely.
Yeah.
Like, yes, give her purpose. Christy would become a worm that I would use as bait. I would catch a bass. But that's where we part ways because at that point, I am endeavoring to have a meaningful relationship with the bass.
Oh, I'd mount the bass or eat it.
I don't like you saying mount the bass. You said it a number of times. I do not like it.
Okay. Yeah.
But I am implying that I would mount the bass.
You can't have a meaningful relationship with a bass.
I've heard about Matt Lieb telling a story on...
I don't want to hear about that. If she was going to be... First of all, if she's going to be a conscious worm...
That's tough.
Oh, that's a tough situation.
I would do my best. I'd move her around. I guess I'd have a pocket worm environment, I guess. Like something I could take with me.
A little soil pocket?
A little soil.
A little dirty pocket?
Soil batat that I keep in like my pocket, you know?
With a little window so you can see.
Maybe I would attach it to my phone. You know how people can like stick their wallets to the back of their phones now? Like
I'd
have a vertical, it would be the shape of another phone and it would stick to my phone and she'd probably be in that.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I would enjoy it, though.
And then I would drop her at some point. And
by accident.
It would be an accident and it'd be over.
Right.
I'd feel bad about it for a while, and then I'd have to get over it.
Yeah, I mean, I got to say.
She would want me to, y'all.
One of the things I most love about my wife is the fact that she's human.
It's a great aspect.
It's like one of my favorite things about her.
Yeah.
And if you take that away, I don't know if I'd feel the same.
I
don't think that makes me a bad person.
Now, if she became a dog.
A dog.
Now we're talking. Now, we're not really talking. It's not like that would be my preference. I made it seem, it really came out like this is an upgrade, but for the record.
Now we're talking.
I was not.
Finally.
I was not thinking of upgrading my wife to a dog. That's not what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Okay. We had done so good on the other ones.
Yeah, you didn't finish strong, though.
No.
You didn't finish strong. Let's finish with that one, the girl that wants us to guess her accent, because that's fast and maybe we can figure it out.
Okay.
Hi, Rhett and Link. I have been watching you guys for so long, and I wanted to just talk for a minute and see if you could guess where I am from just based off of my voice and my accent. I don't know. Some people say I have a really strong accent. I probably do. But at the end of this voicemail, I will tell you where I'm from. My name is Haley, and...
Okay.
Oh, so then you pause.
She paused it. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I definitely have... I don't think I'm very good at this, but
I have an inkling.
I have a guess that came to me.
Okay, I have a guess too. Mm-hmm. You have a guess?
I have a guess.
Okay. Well, you first.
Okay. I think this person is from the Appalachian Mountains. I think they're either from Western North Carolina or Eastern Tennessee. And I'm going to say not quite all the way. I'm going to say Hickory, North Carolina.
On the way to the mountains. So you think North Carolina. I, too, think this is North Carolina. And I think it's not far from where we grew up. I'm thinking a few counties over.
West or east?
I'm going east.
You're going east, okay.
Yeah, so I'm going like Johnston County.
Okay.
I thought it was a little more southern than that. Just how slow her speech was. And she said something at one point that sounded very like southern south. So I want to guess Charleston.
Oh.
Okay. So you're in South Carolina.
Yeah, I'm in South Carolina.
Charleston can give you a little proper.
Yeah, I heard a slight properness in one of the words.
Huh.
So that's my guess.
Okay, let's find out.
I am from Oklahoma.
What?
Yeah, see.
Oklahoma. But it was very North Carolina to us.
Well, but see, that's the thing is that if you're from Oklahoma, you might be like, oh, it was so obvious. I actually think this is really, really difficult to do. If you just look at the dialect of just North Carolina, and how it changes, it is kind of wild how, and then of course, like a lot of people who are born there now don't even have an accent, but like tracking this up, there's a few times, like if she was doing that Arkansas accent that we heard earlier, with those really, really flat eyes, like there's some people in North Carolina who talk like that, but not many.
Yeah.
That go, and then that's also a little bit of a Texas thing. I would have thought that Oklahoma would have had some of the flat eyes.
Okay.
But I don't know.
This is a fun game. If you want to call us and do this, don't forget to tell us where you're from at the end of the voicemail, but not earlier.
We will get better. We will study up.
Again, that's
1-888-EARPOD1.
Woo, that's it. We'll talk to you next week. And remember, check out Dispatches from Myrtle Beach as well.
Hi, it's Veronica and Cat Dog, and we just wanted to tell you that you kept us alive on more than one occasion with your content. We just met at a bar, but honestly, it's your connection between everybody on this world is beyond amazing, and you guys have saved us. Mythical Beast to the end of the earth. Love you guys for ever. You won't be able to post this, so you'll probably be able to hear it because I said the F word. But love you guys. Ow, ow!